All right. Here's Mr. Richard King from Kingway Scraping, and we're taking a class with him down here in Siler City, North Carolina, and we've heard rumors that you're going to be retiring very soon, Mr. King. What are your thoughts about that? You going to be retiring or no?
I haven't quite decided. I was talking about it there for a while, and I figured when I turned 65 I was going to retire. But when I started to tell all you guys I was going to retire, I've never gotten so busy in my entire life.
Right.
And my accountant tells me I'd be foolish to retire when I'm 66 or 65, and I found out I heard I couldn't collect Social Security until I'm 66. And so I decided, plus I'm on Medicare now where I can't afford to retire with all the expenses of the insurance and all. So, but I enjoy the classes.
Mm-hmm.
The traveling kind of rough, but I enjoy I should probably get something going in Minnesota, but my shop is so full of stuff that I don't really have room to teach. So.
I understand. Well, also, you've been being pestered about a book. Have you put any more thought into a book? Would you like to see something like that happen eventually if you got some good feedback?
Oh yeah, I've started a book. I'm like Mark Twain. I've started a book a lot of times, like him quitting smoking.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a lot harder for me than it's worth, but I do plan on having something so that I'll have some. My kids don't want to. My son doesn't want to scrape. He's not into it. But I figured it'd be nice to have a book.
Okay.
And like Connolly's book, was written in '55, and it's still being sold today. So I figured eventually maybe my grandkids would benefit from my knowledge with a book.
I think a lot more than just your grandkids would benefit from that. There'd be many people that would like to see something like that. So
yeah,
I'd like to see some people put feedback on if they'd like to see a book. Maybe if we got a certain number of people together that it would inspire you to write it.
Right.
I guess also do you have any good memories, or what's been your favorite part about being in this teaching and scraping business?
Well, it's when the student's light bulb goes off and he gets it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you were struggling and you were kind of afraid and you were going to hurt your unit, and we had to decide whether or not we were going to work on it. But then you started to do it, and you took it real easy in the beginning, and then all of a sudden you just got mad. Is the way I say it in my video. You get mad and you just want to do it. And that's what happened with you.
That's exactly what happened. Yeah, you forget about that you're working on something that has a lot of value, and you just sort of do the job, and you get, like you said, get angry at it, and that's when the light bulb does click on, and you realize that you can do it, and it feels so good to be able to do something that you couldn't do just a few days before. You're adding value to a machine, and that's what I see as the big benefit of the scraping,
right.
Hand scraping. So
yeah, and you can work in tenths or millions where maybe you never worked within thousands.
It's always been thousands with the machining. So yeah, it's a whole different ball game with that, obviously, right?
Yeah. And then this last year when I was asked to teach that class for Make-A-Wish, the young guy, 16 years old, and had a heart condition, and he had told me that he had a chance to get a Monarch EE rebuilt or take my class, and he picked me, which was quite a good feeling. And then the other time that really made me think about this is when I was in Turkey, and the guy at the end through the interpreter is crying, and he's telling me, "Mr. King, you remind me of my father teaching me how to be a man." And so after that is when I started to call all my students my kids.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do feel that way. I want you guys to learn how to succeed in your scraping And you know, there's so many other guys that out there that pretend to be experts that are teaching the wrong information.
Right.
And that's why for a long time people just didn't get it.
And you give such a good foundation in your classes. I have to highly recommend it. It's been the biggest single learning experience mechanically that I've had in I think ever. And I very much appreciate your time and that you come down here and teach us this. And I hope you have a few more classes if you can handle a few more classes here, that'd be great to see. And I'm looking forward to finding a nice 10E double E myself and restoring it at some point. So maybe I'll get lucky and find one of those. But is there anything else you'd like to say before I turn it off here? I don't want to hold you too long.
Just learn how to do it, and actually you'll really get a charge out of it. And another thing that I really insist on when I teach these students, that you pass on what I teach you to somebody. Pay forward, so you know, somebody asks you, what the heck are you doing? You don't just walk away, because that's why they call it a lost art.
Absolutely.
Is that people don't pass it on.
And I will, definitely. I'm looking forward to sharing what I've learned up here, and I once again thank you so much for what you did,
You bet.
Mr. King. This is the first time that I'll be on YouTube on my own channel, but here I am too. So
All right.
thank you, Richard.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right.